Alright, see how this goes here. Going to be tearing apart this Ascendant SMD Mini 12. Get it prepared for a rebuild. So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to salvage some good stuff out of this sub for a customer, I believe. So I have a buyer for it, and he's wanting to rebuild it, have it ready to go, you know, pay one single price and take it home, and he has a brand new sub basically, and you really can't beat it for the kind of money that this thing will cost rebuilt. You can see that white in there, that is liquid nails. Yes, someone put liquid nails to hold the cone and spider together, but not my problem. I got a dust cap popped off here. These are very good dust caps, especially compared to the PSI dust caps. These are a lot better. You can see that on the back side, that's epoxy or whatever resin. That's much harder than the PSI ones. Like, there's almost no flex to it at all. So that's a good dust cap. We will definitely be reusing that. And like I said, we're going to try to salvage some stuff. So I'm going to, I got my soldering iron heating up. We're going to try to remove the tinsel leads and save those and reuse those. Assuming that they're good, we'll have to test them. And then we're going to cut the cone, cut the spider, pull the whole assembly out, and then try to, we're going to inspect the former and the coils and see if it's reusable or not. If there's any scrapes or any heat in the adhesive holding the coils together, it's scrap. Give you an example. See that right there? See the heat and the scratches? Yeah, that is enough. Yeah, that's cooked right there. So, not too concerned about that. Seems fine. I think there might be something in it. It's gotten into it. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of space between the former and the pole, so there could just be something in it. We'll have to wait and see if this thing's warm enough yet. It is. So put that back on the stand. And what I'm going to attempt to do here, show my light, let's get it here. Try to just get up some of this glue off these terminals as best as I can. This actually could be our issue, and we could literally just like resolder these the coils back onto the terminals, to the tinsel leads, and we'd probably have a working sub. But that's if someone didn't use liquid nails to hold stuff together. So we can't do nothing about that. I mean, I tried pulling it off, and my buddy at the car audio shop, he tried pulling it off the best he could. There was no salvaging it, so we're just gonna get this glue here so we can get to, I don't know if you can see that right there at the point of my razor blade, that little tiny wire, that is the wire coming off of the former for the coils. So this stuff is rubberized CA glue. It's very strong until you pry at it, which I don't understand, because they literally use it to glue paper to a former. I don't know how this stuff lasts, but we all have our ways. This one right here, I can tell someone has been into that. It's not factory. Neither one of these are, I don't believe. Maybe this one is, but this one has been messed with because see how exposed it was. I got a chisel here. Let's see if I can get some more of this glue. A bit better. Try not to damage the former. There we go. See how fragile that stuff is? It just shatters to pieces, hopefully. one down in that gap. That don't matter. Still thinking of, you know, watching everything goes down in here where I just repaired a Juggernaut 15 yesterday. Let's see if we can get this thing to move. Yeah, we can. Alright. So, need to get in here. And, oh, well, right there's an issue. That is not attached. If you can see that right there. That tinsel leads was literally being held onto that terminal with this heat shrink. There was nothing, there was no solder holding that on there. This side is not the same. It's almost, I almost thought it was there at first. I don't have to pull these out right now. If I can get them disconnected like this, where they're separated, I could easily work with that. I want to try to pull this out without damaging the coil. Never seen anything this bad until you know it's bad. One of my friends will tell you the same thing. He destroyed a sub. A very nice sub too. When the amp was the issue. Sorry, Brian. Didn't mean to rub that in there, but so I don't know if what's going on here, if there's glue holding that tinsel lead in or not. I just want to pull it on out of there. Cone is trash, in case y'all didn't know. So I'm trying to get it, the tinsel leads through just like that. Yeah, there we go. There's some hot glue. No, or silicone, that's silicone. Silicone and some liquid nails. But these look fine. Let's see if I can get in here to this without completely destroying the wire coming off of the coil. Back this up a little bit. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of attention. I can smell that rubberized CA glue right now. Yeah, there we go. Here it comes. Boom. There's a set of CA glue. Rubberized CA glue. Evaporated. That's not good. And there's one. We'll have to check that out and clean that off. That doesn't look too good. So I don't really want to cut this. But if I cut it, see, there's no way for me to get in here to this screw. Actually, there is. A lion sack of donkey crap. So all I gotta do to get that screw is to just stab a hole straight through the cone, the surround right here. I can go straight down, get that little Phillips screw out. Then I gotta find a Phillips head screwdriver because mine is in my car. There's this one. This is one right here. So come in like this, stab it in. I'm gonna have to stand it up here to get enough pressure to. Yeah, there we go. Get that screw out of there without. And take that screw out, your push terminals will come off. And now pull that rod up on and out. Pull the screw out of the lead. It has a ring terminal. When we rebuild subs, we actually do the tinsel leads, like each lead, if it's a double lead like this, we'll do 2 ring terminals and stack them. So all I'm going to do is just take the screw and put it back into the push terminal. That way we know where that is. I guess I can go ahead and unnecessarily remove this one. I'm not really too concerned about this little ring terminal here that's not soldered to anything anymore. Because like I said, when we rebuild them, we usually do the double ring terminals for each lead. So get the screw backed off quite a bit here, and then we can just spin the push terminal right off, pull the screwdriver out. This should slide right out, which it does. Boom, there we go. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that piece, that ring terminal right there on there. And that way, if I decided I wanted to reuse that, because 3 out of the 4 still have it attached and I can resolder them and get them, you know, a good connection, then there's no reason to cut them off and then crimp and solder new ring terminals on, when I could just crimp and solder, or not crimp, but solder on one and be done. So, reasoning behind that. But next, I want to get at this tensile leads right here on this side, and go ahead and get them pulled up and out, and then we'll get them unsoldered from the coil. This one, like I said, looks like it has been resoldered or messed with, or just poorly assembled in the factory, because there was no glue, and these are kind of fragile, the little wires coming off the coil, so any vibration or movement and stuff over time usually will break that wire. So you always want to add some rubber ICA glue to isolate those, so you don't rip it off. But now we can go ahead and get some heat on that solder with our $5 soldering iron from Walmart. Not a sponsor, of course. There we go, little heat, boom, there's our other tensile lead off of this side. So this side is done. We just got to get this side out and we will be ready to rock. Now I'm attempting to do this in one shot to eliminate the editing, so that's probably why this video is dragged out. I'm gonna get me some barrel skeet right quick. So this side, go ahead and make sure that these are still soldered on, and they are. So I'm going to bend them back like this as much as I can. And I'm going to come in with my screwdriver again. Let me bring this down so you can actually see what I'm doing. Bring this down again through this surround. Move our wire over a little bit here, our tensile leads. Try my best to get on that as straight as I can. My screw. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's spinning. Nope, it was just really loose. So I'm trying to loosen it and then push the screw this way so I can just easily grab a hold of this, because this has 2 flat spots, and that goes up into this plastic piece, and that's why they don't spin around. So there we go. Get that screw out. Go ahead and put that into our push terminal. We don't lose it, or the little washer on it. Although the washer doesn't really do a whole lot, we don't want to lose it. Because if they put it there, it's probably for a reason. So I don't design subs in reality, just repair them. I don't question the companies too much. Obviously I do a little bit, especially when they do stupid stuff. Thing that they did stupid on these subwoofers is how these ring terminals just come out and wrap around. And if you have a piece of metal bent like that, and you have a piece of wire attached to it that moves up and down a lot, you know, you're likely to have an issue with that. So we already have these ready to come loose. So all we gotta do is pull them out from the top of the cone, and we'll be good. These actually look pretty easy to get to. So there's not a whole lot of glue here anymore. So actually, I'm kind of curious if I could just grab a hold of it from underneath here. Sometimes this works, sometimes it don't. Put a little heat on that solder. There it goes. Set the cone. You want to, if you ever play with subs and you have to solder these tensile leads, always try to be prepared and have some flux, because I found that most of the time, if you don't have some flux to put on them, you usually aren't going to get solder in them very well. You get solder on them, but not in them. Doesn't do you any good if it ain't in it. So there's one more. So all we got is one left. Go ahead and just give it a little quick tug here and see if it's going to move. It is. So this side, I can see the wire from the coil is like actually wrapped around the tinsel leads, which is good. So we're going to burn off some CA glue. Try not to breathe that stuff in if you have the melting CA glue. It's basically it's super glue, but it has rubber in it. Rubberized CA glue, aka super glue with some rubber in it. It's not fancy, it's just a little bit less brittle. Let's see if I get that coil off there, and we can just pull that right through. I just didn't want to tug on it too hard if the coil wire was still attached, and you can see that still has a crazy bend in it, and I actually unbent it just to get access to that screw. It's got a weird design. So now, maybe that don't sound too good. So now we're free right there, and go ahead and just put some of these tools away. Get them away. Now we're going to need a knife or a razor blade. I like to use this little guy right here. It's just a razor blade, folds up in this little aluminum thing, falls out all the time. But I just keep it on the bench to use it for things like this. And also this is what I remove dust caps with. And get in here like this and cut that glue real easily because it's flexible. It's a little worn out from use, but so I'm going to come out. Actually, the first thing you want to try when you try to remove the surround is see if you can push on from the underside and see if you can get it separated from the basket, because if you can do that, you have a whole lot less cleaning up to do. You don't have to worry about this foam. Yeah, see, it's starting to come up already. So you'll have a lot less cleaning up to do on, yeah, see, that's an issue with this thing. These big magnets, they attract anything still within, I don't know, short distance, long distance, whatever. Where did I just start peeling that up at? Right here. But this foam stuff right here it's rubberized foam. Yeah. So much for that look. Yeah, I'm getting it mostly off there. So this will, if you think you can pull this off and reuse this cone, you're funny. Ain't gonna happen. Not unless it's a Walmart sub, then it's probably already come off for you anyways. You didn't have to do anything. Kicker. Let's see how well. Okay, that coil does not sound too happy. I'm trying to completely destroy the cone just because it'll look nice hanging up. Now I'm going to come in here with a razor blade and cut that yellow progressive roll spider. Cut close to the outside. Now we don't have tinsel leads to worry about either. Uh-oh, I might have to use something else. This thing isn't going to cut it. At least not safely. I always worry about that little blade breaking. Our knife right here. Nice buck here. We'll use it because I know it'll. Maybe I'm too close to the edge. Yeah, this thing's got multi-layer, of course, on the spider assembly. This is going to be a process in itself here, just trying to get this cut. Where there's, I think that's a triple spider, just based by how it's cutting and looking here. See how many layers it is. Yeah, that is I see 3. Yeah, that's a 3-layer spider. So this is not going to be the easiest thing ever. Kind of curious if I could separate it. I don't know if I just do this right here, I could easily get in there. Always record these videos late at night too for some reason. That liquid nails is hanging on for some reason. We got quite a bit of it off. There's still some on there, of course. Don't use liquid nails. Hold your sub together, it doesn't work. So I think that knife is a little too thick, so I'm going to try to come in here and try, to cut spiders individually. I'm going to have a good time cleaning it up, but this is safer, easier, and quicker to get this coil out so we can see what kind of condition it's in. Usually you don't reuse coils, but the customers want to try to save money if you can, and I told them, if that coil is in usable condition, then there's no reason to replace it. I can clean it up, clean up the former stuff best I can, because obviously the sub's falling apart anyways. Not too sure how old these subs are. I don't think they're that old. Yeah, maybe like 4, 5 years old, maybe at least. It's not really quite up to date, in my opinion. Also, if anybody knows anything about Ascendant, like actually knows something about them, let me know why they disappeared. Because I have no freaking clue. I was told. Yeah, see, the spiders, so the top one's glued, but the other two are sliding on this former. So that tells me why, obviously. I already knew why, but confirmed my suspicion as to why they glued it. Yeah, this, I'll cut that. Because right now I can't separate them because they're just sliding. I can't pull it up. Ooh, a little choppy. See this, where the sub has such a shallow basket. I'm hitting the motor as I'm doing this, which I don't like doing. But a few little tiny nicks in it under there ain't gonna hurt nothing. It's probably just the top of the basket it's touching. See what that gets me now. Oh, there's that coil. Okay, this is a really weird coil. So I wondered what they did about this red line right here, if this was a magnet or what. I'm assuming, just from what I've seen there, this has 2 separate coils and there's a gap. As far as I just saw, I'm not 110% on that, but that's what it looks like, which is very interesting. Never worked on something like this. Oh, yeah. Keep going back to that little thing for some reason. How long have y'all not been able to see anything? That's my question. Because I have not been paying attention. I wonder how the lighting is on that video. It's probably not too great. Ooh. So there we are. It's not good. We have a crap ton of rubbing. And it's literally worn like together right here. Top coil, it's also in the same shape right there. Yeah, there's no saving this section right here. This whole thing is trash. Well, that's how you find out though, is you tear it apart and see what you get. That's disappointing though. I was really hoping to save that coil because Ascendant doesn't exist anymore. So I can't just call them and tell them I need a SMD mini coil. It's not like it got hot. I mean, I guess it's just where they had re-glued this section. It caused it to have pressure on one side and cause it to rub. Now, I don't know, this section right here looks like it got warm a little bit. I think that's what that color is, because that PSI has that same color to it, and it got smoking hot. But my question is going to be, can I just order a coil that's this tall that doesn't have this interruption in it? Because no one is going to make this coil, as far as I know. And if they do, I would greatly appreciate y'all to post that down in the comments. So I do have two of these that need a rebuild. They've both got the liquid nails treatment to them from Cricket. So yeah, look at this. This is just, it's pathetic, man. I mean, you can't use silicone to repair a surround that has, I mean, that hole was there. I didn't do that. I saw that previously. I didn't do that. And then there's like foam padding here. I don't know if that's factory. It's on both sides, so I guess it's factory. That's where the leads went in. I'm going to proceed and remove the cone and slide these off and try to clean it up a little bit. And I'm going to do some testing on each coil and see if there's even just the slightest. I mean, the guy that's is wanting this is literally his first system. So if I can get him an inexpensive subwoofer that's high end like this, that will last him for a while, that will be okay. But I don't think we're going to be able to save this. I just don't see that being savable. So that's it, guys. That's what you get. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know down in the comments any recommendations, any acknowledgement on the Ascendant, SMD minis, anything that y'all know. But thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.